Hi everyone, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Show us your flags or give us a shout out to your country in the comments below. We would really love to know where everybody is tuning in from today. So today, if you've not tuned in before, we're actually doing an Instagram live interview with Jane Hedge. I'm just viewing her request now. So she should join us in a minute. Like I said, if you've not tuned in before, then we've done these quite a lot, so check out our IGTV list here. Hi Jane.
Hi everyone.
So I was just explaining to everybody, so we've done these quite a few times before, and we've got them all saved on our IGTV with all the various different guests that we've done. They're also on our Facebook and our YouTube as well, so there are some fantastic guests on there. Do go check them out. My name is Steph. I've been working for Heritage for about a year and a half now. I do the social media, the email campaigns, and back in the days when there were events, I would do all of the different, snapping pictures and meeting and greeting people. So today we have Jane Sarchet with us. Jane is a recipe developer who I actually know from previous job that I was in doing lots of foodie things, and now get to work with her here at Heritage, which is really good fun. So Jane does lots of recipes from not only from in her kitchen down in lovely Cornwall, but also from her Volkswagen T4, affectionately named Myrtle. So today we will be talking about foodie adventures, Jane's YouTube channel, her blog, and even her Amazon Prime TV series. So stick around, and hopefully we will have some fun conversations to do with Volkswagens, cooking, camping, and all sorts. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. I will try and have a read at the end of the session. Yeah, we've got a few people commenting already, which is good. And we will try and get some questions again in for you at the end. So, how are you? How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for inviting me on. This is so exciting.
It is, isn't it? It's great. It's good. How's the weather down there today in Cornwall?
Right now, beautiful sunshine. 3.5 minutes ago, hoofing down.
Really?
You're very changeable.
Yes, I imagine we've only had sunshine here today, which is good. But about half an hour ago, my next door neighbours decided to start putting up their scaffolding, which is great. So I hope we can't hear any of that. But
well, my chickens, I don't know if you know, but we've got avian flu in the UK. So our chickens that are free range and outside are now in the shed right next to my kitchen. So if you hear chickens chirping, they'll be singing you.
Better than scaffolding noise.
Oh, the joys of working from home, eh?
Isn't it just? Right, so obviously I've got a couple of questions lined up for you today that we're going to talk about, but the first one is your T4, Myrtle. When did you get Myrtle? Why did you get Myrtle?
Yeah, why did I get Myrtle? I got her, I think it was 2015, it was December, it was about 2 weeks before Christmas. Johnny found her on, isn't it funny how I refer to them as her? And my name.
We all do, don't we? My car is a her. It's a she. Selma.
Selma, I didn't know that. That's
Selma.
Cute.
Selma the Sayat.
Oh, boo!
Technically a Golf under the hood. So
is that what you tell your boss? No, please don't fire me.
Technically.
Yeah. So Johnny found her on Facebook. I'd been looking for about a fortnight randomly. I just thought my car was dying. I had a Ford Focus for 12 years, the most boring but sensible drive on the planet. And I decided that this is silly. I can't go camping in this. And I'm kind of getting to the age where tents are a little bit behind me now. So I said, I think I want a camper van, and it's got to be a Volkswagen, obviously. Mm-hmm. And Johnny found Myrtle, and it just so happened that we were going up to visit a friend and camp in his woods in, I think it's Sussex or Surrey. I always get confused with the two. And this guy was selling Myrtle like half an hour's drive away. So it's like it was fate.
It was all meant to be. All meant to be. So she called Myrtle because of her number plate.
Yes, she's got MYL, and I purposefully did not name her. I thought I'm gonna just know what her name is. She's all very and girly in it, but yeah. And it did. And one day I was just walking towards it again. It was hoofing down with rain again then. And I was just walking to her, and I just glanced at her number plate, and I went, of course, it's Myrtle.
Of course. I've got a very boring number plate, but I thought Selma Hayek is a sexy senorita, and my Sayat is a sexy senorita. So it all works out. It all works out.
Good. I love it.
So what kind of state was Myrtle in when you got her? Was she usable, drivable?
She was drivable. The guy that we bought her off was a tinkerer.
Okay.
And actually, next to Myrtle, he had his new van that was like 3 years newer than Myrtle. He was a lovely old boy. He delivered eggs around this town in Sussex or Surrey, wherever it was. So it's really cute that she used to be an egg delivery van, and now she's come to a farm where chickens are to retire.
Oh.
Benches and stuff. It's quite sweet. But yeah, she was pretty rotten. All her wheel arches were rusted out. Yeah, she was a mess. She had, her sliding door was really rotten, but he gave me a spare sliding door that he'd already had welded along the bottom. It was hilarious. It had a green stripe and it was all primer grey on the bottom. It was such a mess. But I spent a whole week trying to sort the rust. Being a girl, I had no idea what I was doing, and I think I just got, is it Curust? You know, the stuff you get from B&Q, which does nothing, boys and girls, nothing.
Yeah.
I spent a whole week grinding this rust and cure rusting and priming and painting, and it was winter and it was freezing and it was really hard work. And then within 6 weeks, every single bit I'd done was rusty again.
Oh no.
I know. So at that point, I thought I'd spent £1,000 on buying her, and then I found a local body shop whose work is just stunning. They're so good. And I spent thousands on getting all the rust cut out and her completely restored and resprayed, and she's beautiful now.
Good. So you went the long way about it, but the best way in the end.
Yes, I went the pricey way about it. It was not cheap. When you think she was £1,000, the restoration and respray was £3,800. And the guy, when I took it into the body shop, I'd already been in and seen him and booked it in and everything. And apparently, the day that he started working on it, his wife walked into the workshop and saw my van and went, "Oh my God, what are you doing to that?"
Oh,
I know, it's madness. Looking back, I can't believe I did it, but she's done, she's beautiful, and I'm very pleased with her.
Good. So what made you choose Volkswagen? Is there like a family history there? Have you always loved Volkswagens, or just caught you?
I've never owned a Volkswagen before Myrtle, actually. My mum drives a Golf. I don't know, maybe it's just a bit of, you know, living in Cornwall, the camper van scene. I don't know. Actually, I don't have a decent answer for that. I don't know. I think maybe that whole thing, because I live on the coast of the South Cornish coast, and obviously we get a lot of travellers and van lifers and whatnot around here, and I don't know, I wanted an older vehicle because Johnny, my partner, is really good at tinkering on vehicles, and obviously as soon as you've got computers and stuff in them, it all gets a bit technical. So he likes bashing things with a hammer, which, you know, so we like old vehicles from that point of view. But yeah, I can't honestly tell you why. Maybe I just kind of wanted to be part of the scene, although I didn't really know about the scene before I bought her. And then when I found it, oh my God, like waving at all these complete strangers on the road. It's so lovely, so lovely.
It is such a welcoming community, and like you said, we're down on the south coast as well, so I can see the beach from my window.
Oh, lovely.
And, the Volkswagen community is huge down on any coastline, really, I think, because it's so associated with, you know, wind sports, kite surfing, and you know, wakeboarding and all of that as well. So I think, yeah, you probably kind of in your mind constantly when you're seeing them, and then when you get your own, it's like,
I think it was quite subconscious. It's just that's what you get. And I didn't want an old, as much as I love the bays and the splitties and the air cooled. I love them. They're beautiful to look at, but I don't have any skills mechanically, so that would not have suited me. And obviously I can't afford them anyway.
Not at price, yeah. No,
so yeah, the T4 just was perfect for me.
Yeah, it's just the next step up, isn't it, really, from bays and splits in terms of like, it's more modern, you know, much more reliable. I say that. There are a lot of splits and bays out there, they're reliable, but we all know that.
And there are lots of T4s that aren't, let's be honest.
This is very true. This is very true.
Luckily mine is though, I've got a good lucky.
Yeah. So is the T4 your daily driver? Is that your one and only, or do you have a little hatchback or something like that as well?
Well, she was my one and only. So yes, she's my daily driver, although she's been sawned for the last year because of COVID. So I live on the farm. My mum lives here, it's her farm. And her and my brother have been properly self-isolating for a whole year, bless them. They've only left the farm. She's left 4 times to go to the doctors and to go to a dentist in a whole year, which blows my mind. So rather than having 2 vehicles taxed and insured and all of that, I took Myrtle off the road because a year ago, none of us knew how long this was going to last, how bad the recession was going to be, and I just thought, I don't need it. I'll just use her car and keep that car on the road. So let's save some pennies. And here we are a year later.
Yeah.
And like 3 times I've booked her in for an MOT over the last year and then said, phoned them up and cancelled because there's no point because I can't go anywhere.
No.
But yes, she is my daily drive. Although, Steph, do you want some gossip?
I do.
Well, we might have bought another van last week.
What did you get? What did you get?
So I've got a T4. Johnny, my partner's got a T4, but we've just upsized. People downsize, don't they? We've upsized. We've got a Volkswagen still, but it's an LT35.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which means we can sit up in it.
Yeah.
It's an empty shell, but when it's converted, we'll be able to have a toilet in it, Steph.
All the luxuries.
I know! Imagine that.
The luxuries. That's fantastic.
Very exciting.
So you're a 3-van household now.
We're actually a 4-car household. We're a couple, 2 people with 4 cars currently. Johnny got a Suzuki Jimny, which he is getting. He's getting MOT tomorrow, so he can sell that. So yeah.
Really.
This is lockdown. It's the lockdown fever.
It is. It is. I think a lot of people, they kind of start looking at what they've currently got and go, what else can I do? What else can I have?
I'd like a van I could stand up in, please.
Yeah. I'm sure. We've had quite a few of my colleagues and that have gone to crafters recently. We have a lot of different vehicles, obviously at Heritage. We've got a lot of buses, a lot of T4s, T5s. But 2 recently have converted over to crafter. And I tell you what, the height and space difference is noticeable. It really is.
It really is. So the LT, I don't know if you probably know this. I didn't know this. The LT35 is the precursor to the Crafter. So it's the same size, the medium wheelbase. But, I'm standing. You can't see that, can you? Hang on. The roof is here.
Yeah.
I'm 5'6". Johnny's 5'10". So, yeah.
Yeah. Big additional space. I'm excited. Are you going to document any of the stuff that you do to it?
It'd be rude not to, really.
Of course.
Yeah, but we're playing the long game because it was bought on a whim. I have to be honest. So financially, we're not going to go into debt to do it, and we're just going to take our time. So we've got a 1 to 2 year plan. We think.
Yeah, good. There's some spreadsheets going on. I bet some planning.
There might be. Yes, my cup of tea. Yes.
So if you're planning on doing most of that conversion yourself, you also did conversion on Myrtle yourself as well, didn't you? How did you find that? Because you said you didn't really have any experience. This was your first van going into it. Did you do all of the work yourself, or obviously not all that rust and all of the 3 grand's worth, but
over the odds to get that sorted, but sorted they did. No, Johnny is a builder. My partner is a builder, and you can't really see this kitchen. He built this kitchen out of pallets. He's so clever, and he built Myrtle's interior, so I designed it down to the millimetre. That's the bit that I'm very good at, I have to say.
It's a pretty lovely organisy bit.
Oh, I know. It's good on my brain, and I don't actually have to do the hard work bit because I've got no clue how he does this, quite honestly. But yeah, so I've already designed the layout for the new van as well. Obviously, we only got it last week. I really enjoyed it, and there is a little bit of a divide between the people that buy the interior, get it done professionally, and the rest of us that don't really want to spend that kind of money. And I am definitely in the DIY camp, especially with Johnny's skills. It would be ridiculous not to be. But more importantly, you can get it exactly how you want.
Yeah.
For us, the kitchen obviously was the most important thing, and I knew when I bought the van that I wanted to start doing cooking videos on YouTube in the van. So I designed it with all that in mind, like cameras, where's the camera going to go and how am I going to light it and all of that. And if you just went and bought an interior and stuck it in, I mean, you could still make videos, of course, but I don't think it would be as easy.
No, that's understandable. I suppose when you're doing it yourself, like you said, you can think of every single detail that matters to you. you know, if you are cooking in it more, if you're camping in it more, if you're just doing day trips with kids and everything else, you get to do it more yourself. So did you enjoy it?
I loved it. Yeah, I really loved it. It's really good fun. Yeah, and with the new van, like, because we've got that much extra room, the layout means that because I'm an early bird, so I'm up really, really early, he's not, but it means that I can get out of bed, pull a curtain across, and then open all the curtains in the rest of the van so I can start my day and work and drink coffee, and he can still be snuggled up in the dark, which is, you know, it's about designing it to suit your needs, isn't it? And obviously if you've got kids, then you need seats with seat belts. We don't have that, so it's just the two of us. So yeah, it was good fun. I really enjoyed it.
That's good. So what was there anything specific that you did, obviously with cooking in mind? I think I remember you saying in one of the previous videos that we kind of talked about, you didn't put like a lot of fabric in there because of all the condensation and things like that. So what else was there that you specifically did?
So all the cushions are covered in vinyl rather than fabric, because I assumed that, you know, when you do a lot of cooking in a small space, it gets greasy.
Yeah.
Looking back, I wouldn't do that again, actually. No, it was more expensive than fabric. And Johnny has covered his, when he did his build, he's covered his in fabric, and they've got zips on. You just wash them. It's not really a big deal. Also, the fabric cushions are far more comfortable to sleep on than my vinyl cushions. You live and learn, eh?
You do.
They look very lovely, and they are fly spots. We get, obviously being on a farm, we get a lot of flies in the summer. So I can just wipe them off, and it's a marine vinyl, so I can bleach them, you know, I can do anything with them, which is handy, I guess. But yeah.
Well, that's good then. So obviously you use Myrtle a lot for camping as well as cooking.
Yes.
Is there, okay, so I have a couple of questions. Number one, where's your favourite place to camp?
Cornwall.
Of course.
My favourite place in the world actually is the moorland, either Bodmin or Dartmoor.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've been to Dartmoor, and that was lovely. That was lovely.
It's beautiful.
Not camping, unfortunately, but I have been to Dartmoor, and it is beautiful. I can see camping there for sure. So what's your favourite dish when camping to make? Because obviously, like I said, if anybody who's just joined, Jane's a recipe developer. That's actually how I met Jane at my previous job, doing recipes and foodie things. And Jane does tons and tons of recipes on her YouTube channel and on her blog, Hedge. So we're talking about camping, cooking. That's why I'm, as well as just being a little bit obsessed with food myself, why we're talking about it.
All the people are.
Yeah. It's lockdown, right? Everyone's obsessed with food.
How much weight have you put on in lockdown?
Too much.
Moving swiftly on. The only thing that I make every single time I go camping, without fail, is coffee, to be fair. So I don't have a go-to dish, and if I'm making a video, then obviously I'm either practicing or sharing a new recipe. So I'm always creating new stuff. But if we're just, like, we did a month tour around Scotland in 2017. That feels like such a long time ago though. I think it was 17. And we did the North Coast 500 right at the top of Scotland.
Nice.
Oh my God, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if I know I'm going there, then I find all the farm shops and all the farmers markets and all the delis, and you know, I go on TripAdvisor. I geek right out. Like, I put effort into my food.
Yeah.
When I'm going away, I want to find out what's, you know, if there's a local dish, if there's a farmer that's really renowned for his, I don't know, beef mince, or if there's a fisherman that, whatever. I research, like, to the point of ridiculousness. And then I plan, okay, well, we've got to go to that place and pick that item up, and then I'll do a recipe around that. So that's how I plan my foodie trips. I always keep a stash of, I don't know, instant noodles, packets of microwave rice, so useful, curry pots of paste. I always keep them in the back of the van at all times anyway. I think most people do, to be fair, which is really handy. So if you break down somewhere, you can just, you know, cook up a nice little feast while you're waiting for the AA to turn up. I
get that. That would be very nice. I don't think I could do that in Selma. I got a bottle of water somewhere on the back seats.
We need to get you into a Volkswagen camper van, lady. We do.
Yeah, I think as soon as you start working at Heritage, it just gets ingrained into you anyway. That like you will buy a Volkswagen.
You will. Yes, you will.
Yes, I remember seeing a video that you did all about, you know, coffee when you're camping and things like that. So obviously, if that's something that you love, do you have everything figured out, like what kind of tools you take with you for it, rather than having obviously a whole coffee machine? What do you use? I know a lot of people use that pump espresso.
The AeroPress.
AeroPress, that's it.
Yes. So I did a series last winter trying to find the best camping coffee maker, because I kept seeing all these different coffee makers thinking, well, are they better than the AeroPress? I've used an AeroPress for years and the coffee it makes is just superb. So I went on Amazon over like 3 or 4 months and I just bought all the coffee makers and I reviewed them all, and some of them were terrible. Actually, the other one that I really rate, excuse me, 1 minute, the other one I really rate is this, and it looks disgusting, so bear with me. It is this tiny little organic cotton bag.
Oh, wow.
I know it's really stained. It was white, but coffee stains things. Who knew? That makes a really good cup of coffee, surprisingly. It looks disgusting.
It's how it tastes. It's fine.
So that's really handy if you're going out hiking. I personally don't like coffee out of a thermos, like ready-made coffee. So I'll take that and I'll put my coffee scoops in there and I'll put that in my thermos. No, I'm sorry, I'll put that in my pocket and fill the thermos up with hot water, and then I can just make it when I'm ready.
That's really good. That's
Yeah.
good one.
But yeah, after all these really expensive things I bought on Amazon, that and the AeroPress were the ones. So I didn't actually find anything new, really.
No, I've heard very good things about AeroPress. I'm getting into coffee. I'm not quite at the black coffee stage. I'm more of a latte girl.
We'll get you there.
We'll get there, right? I'll get there. It's fine. But my flatmate, she's obsessed with the AeroPress. All the time. Yes, yeah. And a colleague of mine as well. He's just got a T4, bought from another colleague. The amount of vans and vehicles that go between colleagues at Heritage, you would not believe. And he's obviously getting everything ready for hoping to camp somewhere this year. And I know that he's just got an AeroPress as well. So with him in mind, what camping tips do you have for camping in the UK specifically? Because obviously this year with lockdown, I'm guessing a lot more people are going to be looking at what they can do closer to home with their campers. So give us your tips.
Okay, well, I guess I come at it from a slightly different angle. Obviously, living in Cornwall, it gets really, really busy in the summer holidays, well, all school holidays in the warmer months. So I personally avoid going camping in those times. Obviously, if you've got children, you have to go then, or you don't go. So tips, I mean, I could geek out for days on the whole food aspect and the eating aspect of camping. Like I said, I always keep food in the van ready to go. So I could, there's probably 3 meals at any one time that I could make without having to go to a shop. They'd be basic, but they'd be tasty and they'd fill me up. I guess if you're new to camping, you want to kind of think about what you want out of your holiday or your break. So if you just like nature and peace and quiet, then obviously look at inland sites, not on the coast. Certainly the coast of Cornwall, that's where you're going to get the most tourists in the season. Take wellies with an umbrella.
Yeah, very, very true, very true.
Just chill out about it, really, because you're going to break down and you're going to get muddy, and if you've got a dog, like, your whole van's going to stink, and just it takes a certain kind of person to get into camping in England, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, it does. I know. Obviously, there's the appeal of one of the previous IGTVs that I did was with Meg and Cal from Flora, and then obviously Explorers, and they have done camping out of their van all around Europe in the past year or so. They're obviously back home now.
Sure.
I know it was a bit of a stretch for them to try and get home during everything. But obviously some of the sites they were camping at in Europe were so beautiful, Sardinia and that, where it was beautiful sunshine and everything. But I think there is this loveliness about camping in the UK, having a holiday in your home and making the most of it, which obviously we're all going to have to do this year. And just kind of getting all your stuff and going and getting muddy and rainy and getting back and having a lovely recipe, I'm sure, in mind for when you get back.
Absolutely. I love what you did there.
So what are your next steps for Myrtle? I know we've discussed on and off, you're going to do a few alterations potentially to Myrtle this year, because you had her the same way that she is for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So what are those modifications?
Okay, so when I did the build, because I'd ended up spending so much money on that bodywork, I kind of broke the build into two parts. So stage one is complete. That was kitting it out, insulating it, putting the kitchen in, building the bed and all of that. So it's done and it works brilliantly. And I come from a camping intense background. So even as she is now, that's like luxury to me.
Yeah.
But stage two, because she's been off the road for a year and I've saved all that money, I thought, oh, well, let's go and blow it all. So we've already put in a diesel heater. So when I do go winter camping, up until now, winter camping is my favourite, by the way, even though it is muddy and cold and wet. But it means that I need campsites with electric hookups, so I take a little oil radiator. So now I can be properly off-grid, which is great.
Nice.
Solar panels and roof rack going on the roof.
Fantastic.
Very exciting. I got a steal of a beautiful roof rack recently, which needs a little bit of work, but it's gorgeous with the wood slats. It's hand,
pretty.
but it's proper retro. It's lush.
Yeah.
There's a fridge gone in.
Fantastic. So you've not had a fridge before, have you? Which amazes me, because you do all the cooking.
Okay, so I've dealt with a cool bag, but then, like I say, I come from a camping and tent background, so
yeah,
again, it's fine.
You just work 5-star.
You just work with what you've got, don't you?
Yeah.
So that would be nice, having a fridge. What else? Obviously battery and all that strange, boring electrical stuff that I don't understand. Oh, and also my sliding window is actually taped up currently. It's a little bit lethal. So
yeah, I do. Well, I'm sure it might be like somebody.
I know. Who that would be?
VW
place. Windows, for goodness sake.
Who does that? Who sells VW sliding window? I might have
nosy on your site once or twice. I've clocked the windows, lady. I've clocked the windows.
That's good. So you're looking forward to doing some of the modifications now and just kind of making her tweaking her a little bit. I suppose that's what everybody does, really, isn't it? When they've got something, they just constantly work on it and get it to where they want it to be. If you're doing it yourself, I suppose, it's that journey of it, which is. It
is. And this bit of the, I didn't know anything. I still don't about solar and electrics and diesel heaters, but because Johnny bought his T4 after me, he's put all that in his anyway, so he knows what he's doing now. And
yeah,
so
it's fine. So you basically saw what he had. So you saw what he had and you went, I want that. Well, can you put that in mine as well, please?
Yeah, I think because I'm so used, like I say, when you come from a tent background, I've lived, what is it now, 3-4 years with no heating and with a cool bag with ice blocks in. You just adapt to it. But yeah, now I've been in his van with the heater on. It's like, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah, we've got to be on the same level here. Yeah, that makes sense. So how have you found lockdown? Obviously, I'm sure we might have global listeners, but obviously UK is kind of just very kind of potential rays of light for coming out of lockdown at some point. But it's been a long time now, and obviously for somebody who does go camping so much and actually does a lot of your work out of your van, how have you found it? Has it been a huge change, or have you still been able to do a lot of the recipe developing and things like that in Myrtle?
I mean, like everyone, it's been a very strange year. I am so blessed that I live on a farm and I've got all this space around me, and I try and remind myself of that every day. I know not everyone's in that situation, so we've got it really, really easy. I do believe that. Also, from the work point of view, I've still been able to use the van. I mean, she's in the shed now with like headliners ripped down and seats ripped down and everything, so I can't really film in it right now. But last summer I just had her outside my kitchen, kind of on the edge of a field, and I still camped in her, which was really nice, and I still made recipes in her, which was fun. We've also the beginning, actually day one of lockdown one, I started doing a daily vlog. I did it for 50 days, which was such hard work, but it was really good fun. And we called it the Quarantine Diaries. And, during one of those episodes, Johnny, bless him, built me an outdoor fire pit. So I've actually quite a few recipes on that now, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I really like cooking outdoors. It's good.
That is really good. Obviously, you mentioned there that so you live on a farm. Is it your farm? Is it a fully working farm, or is it just you've just happened to have the space and it's
Yeah, I'm just a squatter.
Yeah, you know, just perched on the side there.
It's my family farm, so I've lived here on and off since I was 4.
Wow.
My dad passed away 8 years ago, but so mum now owns the farm on her own. It's quite small in farm terms. It's only 30 acres, which I know sounds massive if you don't have a farm, but it's really tiny in farm terms. And about 10 or 15 years ago, Dad was getting older and he started letting the fields out to another farmer for grass keep. So it's really nice now. We get the joy of seeing the cows and the sheep out grazing, but we don't have any of the work. It's lovely.
That's nice.
It's really nice. They're lovely animals, but my God, they take a lot of work. So that's quite nice. I do have chickens and I have ducks. And as I think I said earlier, they're avian flu. They're indoors at the moment, which is not fun. And they're very bored.
Imagine.
But yeah, it's really lovely. We're quite close to the coast, so it's nice. It's quite a heavy tourist area though, so those 6 weeks in the summer we don't tend to leave the farm very much.
No, but I can imagine. I've been down to Cornwall a few times, and yeah, I went during, you know, being kids during school holidays and that. We went during half term and that, and it was just heaving, absolutely heaving.
It's mental this year, I think. Oh my God, it's going to be so busy.
Yeah, I can't. Everyone's just itching, aren't they? You know, we're seeing so many posts of people kind of pulling things out and getting them all ready for the summer, just with that anticipation of even just being able to go a couple of hours down the road somewhere would be lovely, absolutely lovely. I mean, as you said, you realise you're lucky with the farm. You've got all that space. I'm in a flat on a busy main road. It's not quite as
Hey, but I don't think you're allowed to. So.
No, but I will take that invitation and I'm keeping that. I'll be down, don't you worry. So at the beginning, for everybody who wasn't here at the beginning, I did mention, so Jane's actually also got an Amazon Prime TV show. Hurrah, hurrah, claps there. How did that come about? I remember briefly talking to you about it a while ago, about a year or a year and a half ago maybe, and then obviously I've spoken to you about it since then. How did that come about? And I mean, I've watched it, of course.
Thank you.
But for everybody else who hasn't, do you want to just give it a bit of a shout out?
Didn't Myrtle look beautiful in it?
She does. She really does.
So I met the producer. I was on a course in London for a week and I met the producer and he had Cornwall, camper van and farm, and that was that. And he also knew that I did YouTube as well, so he knew that I didn't mind this. So that was kind of cool. It's a 6-part series. It's called The Hedge, and it's me and Myrtle, obviously, and we trundle around a very small, the southeast, which is, I live near Loo in Cornwall, so it's based around the southeast of Cornwall, and I trundle out to different producers and farmers, and I have a little chat with them, and I take their produce either back to Myrtle to cook up a recipe or back here to my farm kitchen. And I think it's really lovely. It's really hard when it's like, you know, a year and a bit's worth of work for me went into that. So sometimes it's hard to see the end result as, you know, with fresh eyes, but I think it's lovely. One of our sponsors was Visit Cornwall and they're delighted with it. So that's really nice.
That's fantastic. It was lovely, absolutely lovely to watch. Like you said, Myrtle looks, of course, fantastic. And what an opportunity to be able to travel around your hometown, where you live, where you're so proud to live, which is something that comes through, obviously, in your YouTube videos as well, is how much you love Cornwall and the food and the produce and the coast and everything else. So to get, you know, a nice little TV show doing that, what a dream.
Crazy.
What a dream. If I could just get like a TV show about drinking gin and like eating cheeseburgers or something, then I'd be so happy.
I'd watch that. I'd definitely watch that.
Maybe there's a YouTube channel there. Okay, so final question. to finish on. It's
Yeah.
a funny one, but we like to ask it to most people just to find out. Money, no object. You know, it's dreamland there. Money, no object. What car, what vehicle would you buy? And would you still keep Myrtle?
Do you know what? Even though we've just bought a new van, that's for a whole nother chapter. But yes, money no object. I would keep Myrtle, but I would put in a new engine. So my adorable Myrtle is a 1.9 diesel.
Mm-hmm.
Cornwall is very, very hilly.
Yes, it is.
I don't like hills.
Oh,
And she does spit out a little bit of smoke as well. So I get really embarrassed when I'm kind of trying to get up a hill in second gear. So yeah, I put like a big fat Golf engine in her or something. Yeah. Yeah, I'd keep her. Oh my God. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Good. So is there anything else would you buy? Would you buy like a little racy weekend vehicle or anything like that? Obviously we've got people at other people that we've asked, and especially people at work, it's always like you'd have something like your big camper and everything that you can use, and then maybe get like a little Beetle or a little Golf or something for the weekends to nip around in, or is definitely.
I feel like driving Mum's Golf. She's got a 2003 Golf, and I've driven it exclusively for the last year, and it's really nice to drive actually. It's really easy, whereas the camper van's not so easy.
No.
But you can pull over and make dinner in the middle of anywhere. So no, I wouldn't have a daily drive. I don't think. No, I think I'd just have my van.
That's good. That's lovely. That's so lovely to hear. We ask the question a lot. Obviously, so many people have, they'd get a Porsche or they'd get this or that. I think personally, I love Selma, my Seat. She's my very lovely daily, and she's great. But I think I would have a Mark 1 Golf for like a little project. I was saying recently we do Ask Us Anything on Tuesdays on our Instagram. Yeah. And somebody asked, what if you could have any VW, what would you have? So I said, I think I'd have a Mark 1 Golf. I absolutely love them. I think they look fantastic. They're definitely a bit more my style. They look a bit racier. And I said, maybe I would, if you haven't already, we work with a guy called Dan Chambers, and he's doing a restoration at the moment. And I said, I don't know anything about restoring them. I don't have any of the skills. So if I just kind of hopped along to Dan and got him to do it all for me, and then I could just have a lovely little Mark 1 for the weekends, which would be great.
That would be good. But don't you want a camper? Money no object.
Money no object. This is true. Maybe I could have 3. I could have a van. I could have a Golf. I could have Selma.
All together. Sound good?
Yeah. I'd need a very, very big house with a lot of garages, basically.
Yes, you or just a farm.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got all the sheds in the world.
Exactly. Well, I think that's everything that I had. Is there anything that you're interested to know? Anything that you want to ask?
Yes. When are you going to do your events? I was supposed to come up to one last year, I think, wasn't it?
I know. We missed them so much. Obviously,
I can't wait.
I know. So normally we do Heretics meets kind of from April through to September at Heritage HQ down in Brighton. Shoreham. It's just down the road from Brighton.
Okay.
And we absolutely love them. We have loads of members from the community come. We have food truck, we have DJ, we've got staff members there snapping away pictures, and it's so lovely meeting everybody. Unfortunately, we've not been able to do any last year, and obviously none so far this year. I don't think we're not bagging on April or May. Probably we're hoping to potentially get one done later in the year. But that is a real fingers crossed hoping, because
I hope so.
There's so many things to consider. The volume of people that like to come. I mean, our September 2019 one, we ended up having to try and turn people away because we already had over 200 people and all their cars, and they were kind of lining up down the industrial estate. And it's like, we've got too many. We've only got so much space, But we are working on it. The marketing team are working away at potential ideas of what we can have and what we can do. And when we do, we can't wait to have everybody from the community down and invite people like yourselves and everybody else that we've been working with to come and say hello. It would be fantastic. And I'm just praying that we can do it this year.
Fingers crossed. I hope so. They look so much fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, they're great. They really are. So anybody who's watching, we do get asked it a lot. We are working on it, but we can't make any promises at the moment.
It's so difficult, isn't it, for anyone trying to plan ahead at the moment?
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, our poor my colleague Andy, he does all of our like events coordination and working with clubs and that, and bless him, it's been a rough old year and a half, really, hasn't it, trying to do anything with events.
Being a bit quiet.
Yeah, it's been very quiet for him. We've put him to work doing videos. It's fine. He's become our resident video expert, so it's great. He's giving a wave now. What I'll do is I'll quickly have a scroll through the comments, because we've had a couple come through. So let me message.
Bumblebee the Crafter, that sounds
that is Andy. So that's the guy who does our events and our videos. And he swapped out his van for a crafter that is the brightest shade of yellow you will ever see in your life.
It's very yellow.
He rocks up into the car park and you go, is that an ambulance? Is that, oh no, it's Andy coming into the car park. So Thomas Payne said, where on the south coast are you? So Jane is Cornwall. Heritage, we're based in Shoreham-by-Sea, which is down the road from Brighton, and I'm Worthing, which is just down the road from Shoreham-by-Sea. So lovely area, proper seaside-y town, tons of Volkswagens. I live 5 minutes from an area where every summer there was just lines and lines and lines of Volkswagens, because we've got fantastic kite surfing and windsurfing scene just down the road. So it's fantastic. I can just snap away all these pictures of Volkswagens. It's great.
Amazing.
So it's lovely.
He's from Cornwall?
Pardon?
Andy? It's Andy, isn't it? Bumblebee?
Andy's from Cornwall, yes.
Cornwall. Oh, I didn't realise.
Yes, yeah.
He's got a cool van, and he's from a cool place.
He is indeed. He's a very cool character. I'm sure he'll love me saying that. Yeah, he loves Cornwall, loves a pasty. Loves a pasty.
Pasty, buddy, pasty. Pasty.
Yes.
Pasty from Sarah's Pasties in Lou. Best pasty ever.
There you go. So Thomas Payne also said he's just bought a Mark 1 Caddy through the lockdown. Like I said, everybody's buying projects. Tag us on your pictures, Thomas, and we'll have a look. Jack, I'm going to try and pronounce that, Ficklewicks Silver, so that he's bought a 1988 Polo in lockdown. Fantastic.
Oh my God.
Harry Cottle, he said, way more satisfaction when you use the van knowing that you've made it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a big part, isn't it? When you've built something yourself, put your love and heart and soul into it, and you're out driving it, doesn't it just give you that extra big smile of
amazing? And also, if you think, do you know what, this bit counted really annoys me, then you just cut it out and put a new bit in, or change it. Exactly.
Don't be scared to do it.
A prefab one, can you? You'd like
no. Exactly. You'd be too scared, wouldn't you? Jay Bealey said, I camped in mine 2 years ago with nothing but a bit of carpet on the floor and an airbed. When the morning came, the condensation was that bad, the instrument cluster was like a Christmas tree. I can imagine.
As well. Oh my goodness.
Yes. The Spice Club said they can't wait to meet Myrtle.
Oh, the Spice Club. Hello, gorgeous.
We've had a couple of waves from Bumblebee the Crafter, so that's obviously Andy. Van's the way forward. Armchair sessions. This is my other colleague Andy, who does our other IGTVs. He said beans in bolognese, which is, see what, I'll get your reaction on this.
Okay.
On our Ask Us Anything Tuesdays, we get some bizarre questions come through sometimes. And somebody asked us for top tips on how to cook a bolognese. Now, Andy was in charge of replying that day, and he said that he always puts baked beans in his bolognese. And a couple of us within the department may have slightly taken the mick out of him for it, just slightly, especially our colleague Dave, who loves food, loves cooking. And he ripped into Andy for putting beans in his bolognese. And we had to put out another statement saying that actually, this is how you make a proper bolognese and don't choose beans. What do you think? Would you put beans in a bolognese?
I'm actually going to say, I live with a builder. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of, we don't buy a tin of baked beans. We buy baked beans by the tray. I don't really eat them. It's not that I don't like them. I just I just don't, yeah, maybe. But we have like cases of them, especially with lockdown. It's like, yes, we were panic buying baked beans for the builder. I personally wouldn't, but for example, last week I put out a video on YouTube, and it was 3 meals that you could make using tinned potatoes, which is really unsexy. And as a food writer, I imagine my colleagues in the Guild of Food Writers would be horrified that I knew what a tin of potatoes was. But we keep it real. We're camping. Like, I'm actually going to give a vote yes to the baked beans and the bolognese, purely because if you're camping and that's what you got, that's what you're going to use. And there's quite a lot of nutrition in there, I guess. But I personally wouldn't. But maybe one day I'll try it now just to see how it goes.
Here we go. Let us know. We've got a divide in the department between beans and bolognese.
I know
so we shall see.
Baked beans in his bolognese. He'd definitely give it the thumbs up. But I will say, I don't think there's any wrong way to cook when you're camping. If you make something and it tastes gross, then you're just not going to make it again. But I'm experimenting, so yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence with that one.
Fair enough. Well, I'll put your vote in. We'll have a proper vote with everybody we have on now. Would you put beans in bolognese? Some serious hard-hitting questions here on IGTV, I assure you. Well, it's been lovely having you on today. Thank you so much for joining us and entertaining all of our questions. Hopefully it has been helpful for some of our listeners today, learning a bit more about camping and cooking from the lovely Jane. Those wanting to follow Jane, cooking up her amazing recipes, and following Myrtle, any of the conversions that you're doing and any updates and etc., then do follow her on Instagram. It's at Hedge. You can also find her on YouTube and her Amazon TV Prime series as well, Hedgecomer's Kitchen. Fantastic recipes and a couple of good videos on Myrtle on there as well. If you yourself would be interested in coming onto an IG live with us, then drop us a DM. It's myself or Andy who usually does these. So we would love to hear from you and see what you have to say. Big thanks to everybody for watching. We'll be saving this to our IGTV stories and then also uploading it to Facebook and YouTube as well, so you can catch that at a later date if you want to re-watch our loveliness, of course. So yeah, go give it a like, drop us a comment, give us any questions. We will see you all again soon. Stay safe, and we can't wait to see you all when we can. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jane. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.